Well, well. Looks like I won without your help after all. It looks like all your hard work paid off. Your work was most helpful indeed. Unfortunately, I will no longer be needing your services. Here is your pay, in full for services rendered, and a little bonus for your help in achieving my victory. Then you'd better get back to work. Being mayor of Fourville is a big responsibility, one which you clearly cannot comprehend. Yes, thank you. Well, now I'm going to get to work catching up on all the years wasted by Wayne. I don't need luck. I have a plan. Now, if you don't mind, I have work to do. This information will go down a treat at the final hustings of the campaign in a few days. In the meantime, I thought it would behoove you to get to know some of the residents a little better. When the husting starts, I'd like you to be there. Thank you, people of Fourville. First, may I thank the returning officer for doing an efficient and proper job. I would also like to thank my opponent for his years of service to our town. But today, the people of Fourville voted for change. Mr. Sanders may have been correct about the vault, but we cannot let it define us. From now on, we will be looking after ourselves first. If recent events have taught us one thing, it's that I was correct to argue we should forget the vault. None of what we saw was real, and only served to prove that our wishes can never be fulfilled by a machine, only by hard work. Today is the first day of a new future for Fourville, one in which all its people may prosper, and we can look to the future instead of the past. Thank you. Of course it's possible. The vault was closed once. It can be closed again. It won't be easy, but I have an idea of how you can do it. I find it hard to believe that after centuries of isolation, everyone inside the vault is as enthusiastic about opening their doors to Fourville as their overseer is. If you can find people who share my discomfort at this situation, maybe you can use them to petition the overseer to close the vault again. We don't have much time before Election Day, so get to it. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've come to one simple conclusion. If I'm going to defeat Wayne, the vault cannot remain open. We have to find a way to close it. Of course it's a good plan. I came up with it. As my campaign assistant, you should be putting those duties first. Prioritizing your work for me is the very least I expect. We are talking about the future of this entire town. If Vault 4 remains open, then our people will never be able to seize their own future. When it comes to the future of Fourville, any lengths are necessary. I can see that. The vault is still open, but you're back here. Do you care to tell me what happened? You'd better think of something fast. Election Day is looming, and we've wasted too much time on this failed scheme. Maybe we could learn from our mistakes. Or, clearly, trying to force them to close the vault was never going to work. I don't know what I was thinking. We don't have any time to change tactics now. The election is only 5 days away, which means we've entered the Purda period. That means no more campaigning. We can't be seen to do anything which will influence voters. It's time for them to make up their minds. Well, thank you for explaining the obvious to me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you. This is a frustrating time. I need to keep cool if I'm going to become the mayor. Maybe you're right. Nothing to do now but wait for Election Day. Do whatever you have to do, but make sure that vault is closed. Well, that was a royal cock-up, wasn't it? Congratulations on your win. You and Wayne fought a good campaign. I did my best. Is that supposed to be a comfort? I did my best, but it still wasn't good enough. All that matters is winning. There's no second-place mayor, because you were my campaign worker and it was your job to get me elected. Your only job. Yes, it is your fault. You should have worked harder. Maybe if you'd managed to close the vault like I asked, then I would have won the election. I suppose I shall start work on my next campaign. Another 4 years of that fool as mayor does not sound especially appealing. Thank you for your service. But I have a town to run now. I don't have time to chit-chat. Now that the election is over, I have no more need of your services. Here is your pay for services rendered. Good day. We do not have anything more to discuss. Your services are no longer required. I'll start you off with something simple. I need you to put up these election posters around town. Make sure you put them in prominent positions. I need them to actually be seen. I can see you still have my posters in your pocket. Don't waste time, please. Put them up! Do you have any information on Willis? Excellent. Let's see your secrets, Willis. Then stop wasting my time and get back to work. Who said anything about blackmail? All I am after is information about George Willis. You cannot blackmail a dead man. For goodness sake, I want you to dig up any dirt on George Willis, the founder of Fourville. Get back to it, and don't make me regret hiring you. Very good. As you know, I believe it is time for sensible, forward-thinking policies in Fourville. We need to look to the future, not the past. We need to forget about the vault. It's holding this town back. Words, Mr. Sanders. Nothing more. I am afraid your words are insufficient to make up for the deeds of your hero. Mr. Sanders, if you please, some of us are very busy and would prefer to get started. Of course, the vault. When are you going to start making any actual changes in this town and give up on the vault? It is interesting that you keep talking about the vault, because I have something you might be interested in hearing. I've recently accessed some hidden diary entries written by your beloved George Willis, and they make for very interesting reading. Did you know that he deliberately edited his diaries to cover up that he abandoned any hope of the vault ever opening? Did you know that he deliberately edited his diaries to cover up that he abandoned any hope of the vault ever opening? Not only that, but he murdered one of the other men who lived in town in order to seize power for himself. I have the diary entries right here, if you'll indulge me just a moment. I long ago lost my faith in Vault 4. Why would they open it when they could live in perfect comfort forever inside? And the ultimate incriminating entry. I grabbed the first thing I could find and I hit him with it. He went straight down, hit his head, and died instantly. I think it's pretty clear that we can't trust the mayor's judgment. It's time we followed Willis's example and gave up on the vault. I think it's pretty clear we can't trust the mayor's judgment. He's allowed us to revere a murderer. We need to leave the vault behind. Nice words, Mr. Sanders, but they do not translate into deeds. This town needs someone who will take action and improve the lives of its people. I need to do some serious thinking. We may need to refocus our strategy. Come see me later. I may have a new plan by then. The vault opened? Just my luck. The vault opening. There's something I never thought would happen. So Wayne was right. Unbelievable. I had him on the ropes. I can't believe it. This won't do the campaign any good. The vault really opened? This could seriously damage the campaign. The vault opening will certainly distract voters from the real issues of the campaign. God knows how this is going to affect the campaign. Curses! This will give Wayne a boost I am not sure we can afford. Very good. Here's your money. There's no sense in wasting time. I may as well start you right away. I have to say I'm surprised. There's a lot of money on the table here. Tell you what, I'll let you think about it. I'm sure you'll change your mind if you do. Very well. This is a big decision, I understand. Let me give you some advice. Wayne isn't fit to run a race, let alone a town. Fourville needs someone competent, someone like me. You think about that. I'm very busy right now. Please leave me alone. I hear Wayne has had you doing election work for him. I'm not about to let my opponent get an advantage over me, no matter how small. So here's my offer. I'll pay you 1,000 caps, right now, if you'll work for me as an election agent. What do you say? The offer of being an election agent is still on the table. Are you interested? I would expect you to do what I tell you to do. You will be helping me remove that clown Wayne from office so Fourville can have a competent mayor. That's me. in case you couldn't tell. I only want what's best for this town. Wayne Sanders isn't it. I'm disappointed to hear that you signed up to work as an election agent with Wayne. Since you're working for my opponent, I don't think we should talk again. I don't think we should talk anymore. The posters are up? Good. Now I have much more important work for you to do. Tell me, how much do you know about Vault 4? Good, then we can skip ahead. Really? Nothing at all? Even I know the basics. Immediately after the bombs, the local residents came here under the misguided belief they'd find shelter inside the vault. That belief kept them here long after it became obvious that the door was never going to open, and it's still holding us back today. Then let me give you the short version. The misguided belief that the vault is going to open one day is holding our town back. The vault is a testament to everything that's wrong with this town. The misguided belief that it will open one day has been holding this town back. There's only one thing you really need to know. The whole idea that the vault will open one day comes from George Willis, the first man to pitch a tent in the cave. You can see a monument to his foolishness deified at the steps of the vault door. Wayne's belief in Willis's ideas have been the spearhead of his campaign for mayor, keeping the people trapped in a stagnating town while he coasts on their misplaced optimism. The only way to move forward as a town is to banish the ghost of Willis, to force Wayne to debate the real issues. I need you to investigate Willis, and find a way to discredit him. Very good. I would recommend starting with Willis's terminal in the museum. There may be some information there that we can use. This is not an errand. Need I remind you that you are a contracted employee? I shall assume for the time being that you wish to take some time off. Return to me when you are ready to continue our vital work. Don't worry about upsetting anyone. Yes, it'll be hard to accept that the vault will never open, but people will move on eventually. Of course. Wayne's obsession with this vault has led to an incalculable waste of resources, both in what he has done and what he has left undone. You are testing my patience. I trust you had a restful break? Are you ready to continue our work? This is fascinating. Willis lost faith in the vault and edited his diaries to cover it up. And to top the whole thing off, he murdered someone. The final hustings of the campaign is in 3 days. I'm sure this information will go down a treat. As my campaign assistant, I'd very much like you to be there when it starts.